Hi, and welcome to episode number 2 of 2026 for new makeup launches, new makeup releases, and makeup news. We're going to be going through the newest releases, the makeup launches, and we're going to be giving kind of a different look at these makeup launches. We're going to be looking at the marketing tactics. We're going to be looking at what is all like seriously so similar in the beauty space that is already launched, a more affordable product. And I also take a look at the ingredients on a lot of these things because some of them are just not that great. So if you guys like unfiltered marketing, journalistic lenses on the beauty space, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot to get through today. If you guys missed episode 1, I will try and link it for you guys in the description bar and also in the eye so you guys can see the first episode of 2026. I'm trying to make this a regular routine series where we talk about everything that is going on in the beauty space as like a news segment. So hi, welcome. Grab your coffee. The biggest piece of news that has hit us this week. And this actually hit, I want to say, the news circuit on Sunday, which was a day after I had filmed my first video of new makeup releases. But McGrath Labs, they're selling their assets. And according to essence.com, which is a like beauty news site, McGrath is going through a major restructuring, but apparently is not shutting down. The article writes that it is selling its assets, both collateral pledged by the cosmetics label and by its founder, at a public auction that will be conducted January 27th. It looks like Hilco Global, the company managing the sale of assets, did not immediately reply to Essence, the news outlet, for comments. But there are some things that have been going on with McGrath Labs as of late. It looks like in early 2025, Sienna investment managers got in and marked down its stake, putting the label's value closer to $174 million. And I know that there have been some issues with just launches in general. McGrath was known for doing like this viral, like plastic shiny look on the runway. And she had no follow-up product for her makeup when she actually did that look, and it went completely viral. People wanted to know how to clone that specific look, and she didn't actually have a product that was coming out to reflect that runway look. And it's sad to see because McGrath is a makeup artist, but she's also a brand owner of McGrath Labs. And McGrath Labs is known for delivering a higher quality eyeshadow formula, makeup formulas in general. And she was trying to promote this brand as something for makeup artists, for makeup staples. But in the landscape of 2025, and now we're in 2026 with makeup, you need to stay consistent. You need to be creating consistent product that people are going to constantly be repurchasing. And you need to be creating product that doesn't look the same as other launches because let's face it, there have been quite a few McGrath launches that have not gone over very well because they literally look the same as other launches. And that has also been a downfall of the brand, is that there really hasn't been a lot of product or color story ingenuity at the end of the day. And I am going to be interested to see what is going to happen when this goes up for auction on January 27th. And I'm honestly curious who is going to be purchasing the assets, what is going to happen to the brand. Apparently, it's not being closed, but it's being sold. So I will try and keep you guys updated on what is going on with the McGrath Labs label and everything having to do with that. But right now, something's happening, and we may not be seeing. I'm wondering, are we going to see McGrath Labs in the future? All right, so here is a launch that everybody has been raving about, and it actually isn't launched yet. You can buy it for pre-order, and it is the new House of Marste beauty collection. And a lot of people are very happy that this is happening because the House of Marste is owned by Marlena Sell, who was the founder of Makeup Geek that closed, and we found out like a whole bunch of stuff behind the controversy of that. In any case, House of Marste is releasing 3 eyeshadow palettes, okay? And I have a lot of thoughts on these eyeshadow palettes because like I have a lot of unfiltered thoughts on these eyeshadow palettes, and they're probably very controversial, but we're going to get into it because, yeah. So if you notice on the House of Marste website, they do have a beauty tab. You can take a look at the three new eyeshadow palettes that are available right now for pre-order. And two of them are $68 each, and then one of them is $72 a piece. So let's go over the first one, which is the Le Minimaliste eyeshadow palette. It is for pre-sale for $68, okay? Well, all right. So it says that it is quietly confident and effortlessly chic. Every palette includes inspirational cards that feature curated looks along with a QR code linking to video tutorials. Okay. This comes with 8 shades. It is considered the edit of cool and neutral tones. It's 8 shade palette inspired by understated elegance and modern restraint. It has a range of finishes from smooth mattes to softly luminous shimmers. It adds dimension while preserving a clean, modern aesthetic. I saw this eyeshadow color story and I was instantly drawn to a Morphe eyeshadow palette that they released at holiday time in 2025. And that's literally what this looks like. A matte formula, and you have shimmer slash metallic formulas in this eyeshadow palette for $68. Now, a Natasha Denona 15 pan eyeshadow palette, which is considered to be luxury, retails for $69. You get 15 shades, and it does come in a very nice packaging. This one comes in like a zipper travel friendly thing. When I saw the zipper travel friendly packaging, it literally reminded me of Salt New York and how they package their products. And I think it's good for that brand because you can actually pull the whatever product is out. Like they have face balms, they have highlights and stuff like that. And I think it works for their brand. But honestly, when I saw these from the Marste brand, I'm like, what is going on? Like, this is not, I don't like the packaging. I think the packaging is awful. It is very cheap looking. Now let's talk about the color story because, like, we'll get back to the whole Morphe thing. It reminds me of a holiday 2025 Morphe launch, and if you do the math, it is $8.50 per eyeshadow. So it is more than like a normal matte formulation for that price point. And usually shimmers and mattes they usually tend to run about the same price point. It's the duochromes and multichromes that tend to be like those $15, $16 eyeshadow prices. So for these to be $8.50 a piece, that's actually more than what Makeup Geek was. I think Makeup Geek was like $4 to $6 a piece, and they were really quality eyeshadows. So for her to want to say hi to Eve, this is Evie, for her to want to sell these for an ungodly amount, I think is insane. So the first eyeshadow color story, awful. Say hi to Eve. She's rubbing on my microphone. The second one is a warm toned, and this one is the Lay Essence eyeshadow palette, and this is also up for pre-sale. And this one, she says, it has richness, balance, and modern elegance with warm sun-kissed tones. Again, 8 shades, $68. Same thing. Excuse you. She's my new microphone. Hello. We got a cat, and her name's Eve, and she loves me. Evie Kitty. Eve. Should we just carry on? Carry on my wayward son. Hi. I call her my employee. If you watch me over on Instagram, she's my employee who doesn't like to work. Anyway, we're just gonna ignore the floof. Isn't she cute? Oh. So these eyeshadow palettes, especially these two, retailing for $68 a piece, $8.50 per shadow, that's expensive, okay? And there's nothing really to write home about with these eyeshadows. I'm not gonna lie, because they're not special formulas. They're mattes and they're like shimmer shades, okay? And then we have the third eyeshadow palette, which is a little bit more. And this one is called the Le Mirage eyeshadow palette. It retails for $72. Okay. I was looking at this and I'm like, why are there so many white shades? I did not understand at first. I'm like, there's so many white shades. And then I realized that they're all toppers. Okay. Like they're all multi-chrome, duochrome toppers. So it breaks down to about $9 per shadow. The Le Mirage is a curated exploration of light, shift, and texture. It's an 8-shade specialty palette designed to celebrate creativity, movement, and individuality, composed entirely of iridescent and duochrome finishes. The palette brings prismatic dimension to the eye, transforming base looks with layered reflect and color-changing nuance. So, it was designed to be worn alone or layered with Le Minimaliste and Le Essence. That's where it gets you too, okay, guys? She didn't put special shades in her other palettes because she wants you to buy this palette. So she wants you to buy a $68 palette and then a $72 palette to pair with it. Okay. Usually when I buy multi-chromes, they're in singles, and usually I pay upwards of $12 to $16 a piece. But they are shifty. They are amazing. They are quality multi-chromes and duochromes. And these ones just kind of look run of the mill. Like you look at the swatches in the listing and they look very run of the mill. Like they don't actually have a lot of shift to them at all. Like you're claiming this is a duochrome, and I barely see the shift there. I barely see what's going on. The iridescent shades, you have like a blue iridescent, an orange one, and a kind of like pinkish lilac one. And these are just run of the mill iridescent shades that are really nothing to write home about either. There's like maybe 2 duochromes. That's it, okay? To call this like a mirage, to call it, where it has duochromes, multichromes, opalescent, like it doesn't work well. I think that it's kind of the thing that she's wanting you to do is buy one of the, neutral palettes and then layer it with this. And these just don't look impressive by any means. I think she would have been better off breaking up and putting some of these eyeshadows into some of the neutral palettes so you still get that effect and keeping it at that $68 price point, or making it less, because $68 in this economy, who are we kidding here? Especially for eyeshadow color stories that look like Morphe. Okay. And I understand that things go into production like way in advance. And I totally understand that. But I feel like one of the things that killed Makeup Geek was the fact that she had so many neutral eyeshadows. She didn't do any collaborations. I mean, she had the one that fell through with Jaclyn Hill, but she could have done other collaborations. She had a lot of neutral eyeshadows. And I know neutral eyeshadows tend to sell, but when you're talking like a custom luxury type of product, like what Marste is claiming to be, I want a good quality product to come out of it. I want them to be competitive with like those other independently owned makeup brands. So going with the neutral route, I understand doing maybe one palette. She could have done like a neutral and then a colorful palette, and then she could have integrated those duochrome opalescent shades into the other 2 palettes. But that's just my thoughts on the Marste release. Now, you can order these for pre-sale. I will not be ordering them. I think they're just way too expensive. But if I remember correctly, these aren't due to ship until like March 15th is what it says. Estimated ship date, March 15th, 2026. So literally 2 months you have to wait. You have to pay and wait 2 months. So that is a bit crazy to me too, considering that she is more of a, like her perfumes were not pre-order. Eve's meowing. But anyway, that's my thoughts on the Marlene Estelle House of Marste Beauty launch. So we're going to head on over to Trend Mood One. I'm going to leave their Instagram profile linked in the description bar down below, but you guys can check out Trend Mood One. They are a makeup news site, and they do show all of the makeup products that are being announced, released, and sneak peeked as well. And I had one that I just absolutely had to talk about because I need to scoot over so you guys can see here. All right, so we have a new fragrance from Kylie Cosmetics, okay? I saw the advertisement for this and immediately my brain shot to 2000, Oops, I Did It Again, Britney Spears. And that's literally what this advertisement looks like. It says that the fragrance is new in addition to the Cosmic family. It is called Cosmic Intense. So I get where they're using like this red, bold color to make it more intense because red is the color of passion. Like if you see red used in like advertising or in certain types of descriptions, it's always like that description of like passion passion and lust and like intensity. So I understand that they're using the red. It looks like liquid red latex and it reminds me of like Britney Spears. So I don't really like the advertisement of her holding this across her body. I think this is the context of it is really weird. And it is a bold evolution of the original best-selling fragrance. It has opening notes of star jasmine and blood orange. It has heart notes of golden amber accord, benzoin, and it has base notes of vanilla and musk accord. It's going to be available on January 21st on the Kylie website and then on January 25th at retailers. But honestly, just the marketing of this is super, super weird. I honestly, the scent doesn't smell super, super great either. Like I don't associate this being with like intense. When I think of something intense or like smoldery, I think of the Victoria's Secret Very Sexy scent. Like that to me is like very intense and romantic and like sexy. And I think that's what they're trying to do with this scent is kind of mimic that feel that you get, but I'm not getting that feel from the packaging. I'm not getting that feel from her outfit. She looks more like Britney Spears. So yeah, like I just no. It's a no for me, bro. And not to mention that fragrance is probably going to be like $100 because, it's a no for me, bro. All right. So we do have new Lineige lipsticks. And okay, they're the Juice Box Lip Oil Stain 12-Hour Hydrating Tint. They retail for $23. It's going to be a lightweight lip tint with a water to oil formula. It is going to be a lightweight lip tint with a water to oil formula that glides on smooth. It's a lip stain that nourishes lips and gets juicy, buildable color and lasts up to 12 hours. Okay. So I guess that's the lips launch. And then they also have a blurring loose finishing powder for oil control and smoothing for $25. It's an ultrafine skincare infused powder that absorbs oil, blurs, and smooths while keeping glow and moisture locked in for a soft, semi-matte finish. And it looks like the lip product is going to be available January 27th and the powder January 20th. Okay, guys, I have a thought about these lip products because a lip tint with a water to oil formula. Anybody who knows basic chemistry knows that like water and oil don't necessarily mix. And it also is a lip stain that is going to nourish your lips and it gives a juicy, buildable color. Okay, like I have a feeling this is going to be like super messy and like super like it's going to be one of those lip stains that like clings to every place on your lips that you don't want it to cling to. Even looking at the swatches, you can kind of see that it's doing that in the swatches. Like it just doesn't look like an even application because it is water and oil. Like it makes absolutely no sense as like from a chemistry standpoint, like at all. Like it makes no sense to me. That's a no for me too, bro. But I did predict that we're going to have more powders that we're going to be launched in 2026, and they are releasing a powder as well. We also have Colourpop, which is releasing a Valentine's Day collection. And when I saw this, I was just so underwhelmed by the cover art, by the color story. I think that the accessories are better than the actual palettes, like the things that come with the palette. Like there's lip oils that come with it, and there's also these Super Shock heart-shaped highlighters or blushes that come with it. And those were more appealing to me than the eyeshadow palette. So the Heart to Get eyeshadow palette, it'll be $18. It is going to have 12 cool pinks and silvery taupe for a flirty look with 5 different finishes: matte, metallic, super shock, pearlescent glitter, plus a brand new metallic chrome. That's interesting, what they say about metallic chrome. Okay. Then you also get Shadow Stick Duos. They're going to be $16 each. You get the Super Shock blushes, which that's going to be super, super pretty. They have a baby pink pearl one and the Feelings Mutual, which is a bubblegum pink pearl, and then Cuter Than Cupid, which is a cherry magenta pearl. Honestly, those sound really pretty, and I love their Super Shock formulas. Like their highlights and their blushes are just so stunning, and the blushes look really, really beautiful. Like I just love the colors that they come out with for like their Super Shock blush and highlighter formula, and these just look so beautiful. It is pearlized, and it is blendable. And then they also have the glossy lips To Die For, which is a sparkly baby pink, Your New Obsession, which is a mauvey pink, and Still That Girl, which is a bright baby pink. And they're in heart packaging. So like I'm saying, like the accessories, like the extra things that come with a collection, like the eyeshadow palette is usually like the main feature of the collection. The stuff that comes with it is more appealing to me than the actual eyeshadow palette. Like the eyeshadow palette, I really feel like they could have done so much more with the cover art. It says Hard to Get in a very just plain serif font. Like it's just so boring for Colourpop. It's weird. The color story inside, I don't particularly like either with the grays. I don't think it really meshes well. It doesn't have a lot of dimension, especially from the swatches. Like it's just super, super light, some pastels, and then we have a couple of dark shades in there, which I don't like the way that this color story looks. So that would be a pass for me too, bro. So I did mention this makeup release last week. It's from Bella Beaute Bar, and they're doing a collaboration with Deandra Nicole. She is mostly known for her swatches and like her flat lays on Instagram. She doesn't have a YouTube that I know of, but they are doing a collaboration. It is the Pinky Promise eyeshadow palette, and it is 8 buttery mattes, 6 multi-chrome shimmers, and 1 hollow chrome. I don't know what the price is, but that is available now. I don't have any kind of affiliate code or anything. I do know some other creators who do, but I was looking at this color story and there was a good point that was made because Deandra Nicole she's a Black woman, so she does have a very deep skin tone. Like if you look at her swatches and stuff, she's very dark. And this eyeshadow palette does swatch well on somebody with her skin tone. Now, I was looking at the swatches for somebody with more of like my skin tone, and they just look like it looks like almost all the same. And I've heard that this possibly is a palette that is more intended for somebody who has a deeper skin tone than somebody who is super pasty pale like me, because I have a feeling a lot of these shades, like especially the matte shades, not necessarily the multi-chromes, because multi-chromes, they just shimmer differently and they shift differently on the eyes. But definitely these matte shades, they definitely would look very, very similar on somebody with my skin tone. I am a very light, pasty pale, ghost sheet, look at the Snow White, and they would definitely look very, very similar, if not the same, on my lid. And I would not be able to get very dynamic eyeshadow looks with this palette. With that being said, it is really beautiful. It reminds me, honestly, of Valentine's Day. It is Pinky Promise, so it's like a friendship pinky promise, and it is honestly really beautiful. I did see some other creators mention that this is a true pink palette. It doesn't lean purple in any way, shape, or form. It's true pink, which I do love a good pink eyeshadow palette. Like I'm actually wearing Nomad Cosmetics Paris La Bohème, and I do have a video that is going to be on my channel, and it's a review of that eyeshadow palette, but it's like, it is literally split into two. It is literally split into two sides. You have the romantic pink purple side, and then you have like the grungy side is what they say. And this is just, it's such a beautiful palette, but this has all the pinks that I need for the Valentine season. So that's all I have to say on that one. But I think that the overall concept of this palette is beautiful. The cover art is absolutely stunning. I love the Pinky Promise, and I think it's just very like nostalgic retro feeling with the cover. So I think she did a really good job. But if you are somebody who is super pasty pale like me, this may not work for you. It has also been like announced / sneaked that Singe Beauty is going to be having a new launch soon. Angelica Nyquist just announced it on the day that I'm filming this, which is Friday. So stay tuned to the Singe Beauty website. I am super excited about the newest launch. Like I love the launches from Singe Beauty. I think they're absolutely stunning. The last one that they had was the Paisley Hoot and the evocative lip liners. Love the lip liners. I love the Paisley Hoot palette. I have like a whole swatch video on that. So I'm excited to see more from the brand. Considering Angelica also said that she's going more full-time with the brand and she's doing less full-time with YouTube. So I really have high hopes for Singe Beauty this year. I think it's going to be amazing what happens with that brand. For now, that's all the makeup releases and like makeup news that I have for you guys. If you guys like content like this, I definitely subscribe to my channel so you guys can see more makeup news. You can see makeup releases, a breakdown of formulations. You guys can see my thoughts on their marketing tactics. everything like that in new makeup releases. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? And basically, this time, I feel like it was definitely a de-influencing, don't buy this, or that's what it felt like this week. But if you guys like content like this, make sure you are subscribed, and I hope I get to see you in my next video. Bye.